Well, we've waited and we've waited and we've been ever so patient, but Tottenham have finally got a major piece of breaking transfer news. We have agreed to sign Mohammed Kudus from West Ham for a fee in the region of £55 million, which I think is fantastic. Now, some of you may be sitting there thinking, why are Tottenham signing Mohammed Kudus? Well, I've got you covered, so just sit back, relax, and let me break down why Tottenham have signed West Ham's second best player this summer. So a few quick details on the deal itself. West Ham have agreed to sell Kudus to us for £55 million. They initially quoted a fee of £85 million at the start of the summer for Spurs to sign him, but Daniel Levy has clearly managed to wrangle them down by nearly £30 million, which is insane, to be honest with you. Obviously, we don't give Daniel Levy a lot of credit these days, but when it comes to negotiating fees and transfers, when he gets the price right, he does get the price right. And, you know, West Ham was sat there thinking that the activity around Kudus was going to be very busy this summer. However, Kudus himself played into Tottenham's hand by saying that he only wanted to negotiate with Spurs and only wanted to join Spurs, which is a kick in the teeth for West Ham fans, to be honest. But do any of us care? Not really. It's a fantastic deal, in my opinion. After missing out on Brian and Mbeumo, it felt a bit deflating, especially when you then hear that the deal for Eberechi Eze from Palace isn't necessarily going to happen. But Kudus is an exceptionally talented player. And let me highlight a few stats for you that do back that up. Across the last two Premier League seasons, Mohammed Kudus has completed more successful dribbles than any other player in the division. 216 to be precise. Now, last season, admittedly, he did not have his best campaign for West Ham. He was very low down on the scoring charts. Only 2 or 3 goals in the Premier League, only a handful of assists as well. The season before that was much more prolific, but it's about more than that, I feel, for Tottenham. Tottenham have been lacking a certain profile of player, and Mohammed Kudus suits it perfectly. And Thomas Frank, I think, is a massive fan of the player and has been pushing very hard since he took over from Ange Postecoglou to bring him to North London from East London. And it is that direct, aggressive, showboaty type of player who is capable of taking on and beating his man, capable of getting the team up the pitch very quickly, an excellent ball carrier. And I will say this right now, before he's even played in a Tottenham shirt, there are not many better ball carriers than Kudus in the Premier League, let alone Europe, let alone the world. A lot of people compare his dribbling style to Eden Hazard when he was in his prime, and as I say, with those successful dribble stats, I think that those numbers do actually back up what I've just said. In the 2023-24 campaign across all competitions, Kudus scored 18 goals, 8 of them in the Premier League, a lot more spread over the Europa League, the FA Cup, Europa League qualifying, etc. And he also had 10 assists to his name as well. So while there may be some concerns amongst Spurs fans initially about the numbers that he puts up last season, the season before that and the season even before that, 2022-23, are very encouraging. It was 18 goals again in the 22-23 season and 7 assists that year. So it's quite consistent over those 2 seasons. I think there are a lot of mitigating circumstances that prevented Kudus from really reaching his whole potential last season at West Ham. A lot of that being down to the fact that they didn't really play a very good style of football. Their managerial changes. West Ham just weren't very good in general. And Kudus was always looked at alongside Bowen as that man to try and drag them out from their own penalty box and get them up the pitch. And it's a very difficult task that he won't hopefully have to deal with at Tottenham. Like I say, he's one of the greatest dribblers in the game. On average, he completes at least 3 successful take-ons every single game without fail. He also loves to take a shot. He averages 2.5 shots per 90 and has a pretty high pass completion rate as well. So it's not like he's reckless on the ball, constantly loses it, like we do see a lot of Tottenham players do quite often. You can guarantee that this man is going to have Tottenham fans on the edge of their seat right from the very first game that he plays for the club. He is someone that draws fouls in. Remember how Jack Grealish used to do it, or how Dele Alli used to do it? Kudus does that really, really well. He loves to feint his shoulders, drop it and go at such a quick pace that defenders just cannot handle him. You'll notice when he does eventually suit up in a Spurs kit that he loves his intricate plays with other teammates in and around tight areas, 1-2s, layoffs, runs in behind, all of that sort of stuff that you'd expect from an elite attacker. Kudus has it in his locker. One concern that perhaps people do have about him is his temperament and his anger. We saw it with the way that he was sent off against Spurs last season for pushing Mickey van der Ven in the face. And by the way, that's going to be hilarious the first time these two meet up. And let's not forget as well, Kudus is not just someone that is coming from a lower end Premier League side. He came from a very good Ajax side as well, in a Champions League campaign where he was one of the main guys. Now Kudus is going to do his medical with Spurs on Thursday and he's going to sign a 6-year contract with the club. So he's there for the long run and it is going to be very, very interesting to see how Thomas Frank utilises him. And I think one of the other reasons why he wanted to bring him to Spurs is his versatility. Now, a lot of people say he is better on the right, but he never really played there for West Ham because it's Bowen's preferred position. We've seen him a lot on the left, we've seen him as a false nine, we've even seen him in an attacking midfield role, so he can play across that entire front line, which is always good. And something that makes me laugh about this deal is that Spurs are paying 55 million for him. It's only 5 million and Arsenal are probably going to pay for Noni Madueke, and I know who I would rather have in my team. I think although he's coming from a big rival of Tottenham, and fans will undoubtedly have reservations about him, the fact that he is so desperate to join Tottenham, I think will stand him in a good light with a lot of fans. And to be honest with you, 55 million is 10 million less than we paid for Dominic Solanke last season. I think that is a good deal. Now, perhaps you want to hear about how he compares to a Tottenham player last season. Well, I've got a very good example for you. Let's take Brennan Johnson, for example. Brennan Johnson last season, he come under fire a little bit, but he was Tottenham's top goal scorer. He scored the winning goal in the Europa League final. So he has pretty good reputation at the club at the moment, I would say. Let's have a look at some of the stats between Kudus and Brennan Johnson then. While we've already established that Brennan Johnson was a bit more prolific because Kudus didn't have his best goal scoring campaign last season, when you look at some of the other stats, it's quite eye-opening. Chances created per 90, Mohammed Kudus ranks at 1.1 compared to Brennan Johnson's 0.8. Crossing accuracy, 25% for Kudus, only 11% for Brennan Johnson. And bear in mind, these are two wingers, wide players as well. So getting the ball into the box with quality is going to be a big plus. Acon's completed, like I say, nearly 3.5 for Kudus every game compared to Brennan Johnson's 0.8. And then fouls 1, Kudus 2.5 per 90, Brennan Johnson 1. Touches in the opposition box, Brennan Johnson does actually outrank Kudus by about half a touch in the opposition box per 90 as well. I think the important ones there for me are chances created, crossing accuracy, because we put a lot of balls into the box with Dominic Solanke and never really get on the end of them, so it'll be nice to have a bit of added quality there. For me, Kudus is an X-factor player. He has really, really good traits to his game, and he is someone who is going to excite you when you watch him. I hope that the added quality around him compared to who he's been playing with West Ham brings the best out in him, and I hope that we will look back on this signing in a year or two and be delighted. I remember when we signed Richarlison from Everton for similar money and everybody was quite excited about that as well, and now when we look back on it, we would probably view it as a bit of a waste of money. There's a different feeling around this one and I think it is going to really, really work out. It's quite ironic because I've literally just put out a video saying that Spurs have been moving so slowly in the transfer window this season, and then just like that a big bit of news comes out of nowhere. But yeah, make sure you let me know down in the comments what you think of this signing. Is Tottenham signing Mohammed Kudus a good deal? 55 million, are you happy with that? Where would you like to see us strengthen next? Let us know. And as I said in my previous video, I am on the road to 5k by the end of 2025-2026. So if you have enjoyed this video, please do go down and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out massively and I will be doing giveaways in the near future, so stay tuned for that. But that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy the transfer news as it unfolds, and as always, come on you Spurs.